Hello, Dragon Country, and welcome to another episode of Dragon Talk, your go-to podcast for the inside scoop at Howard Community College. Have you ever reached the point during your college journey where you felt the itch for something more? And by more, I mean a bigger world out there waiting to be your next classroom. Sure, we all love the fantastic campus here at HCC, but what if your next classroom was a traditional pastry course in France? Perhaps you want to delve into a history lesson in the ancient ruins of Rome or Athens. Maybe experiencing the vibrant culture, cuisine, and languages of Ecuador or Turkey is more your speed. Whatever it is you're looking for, we are going to talk about turning these what-ifs into what-nows as we dive headfirst into HCC's incredible study abroad program. So buckle up, because we're going on an adventure. Imagine this. You're boarding a flight, not just to another state, but to a country you've only dreamt of. A place where the language dances on the tongue in unfamiliar rhythms, and the culture is a vibrant tapestry waiting to be unraveled. Your bag is stowed, and you take your seat. Next to you, a classmate you've barely spoken to. A familiar face from campus, now sharing in this extraordinary moment. In the iridescent cabin light's glow, you both exchange a glance. A silent, "Holy cow, we're actually doing this," passing between you. You don't know it yet, but this shared adventure will forge a bond that lasts a lifetime. The fasten seatbelt chime sounds. An announcement crackles over the intercom, a cascade of foreign words you hardly understand.
Madame, monsieur, nous vous informons que ce vol est non fumeur. Les démonstrations de sécurité.
Your brow furrows as you wonder, will any of this be in English?
Ladies and gentlemen, we inform you that this is a non-smoking flight.
Ah, thank goodness. For a moment, you forgot you were still in the US. The jet engines begin their deep, powerful hum. A symphony of anticipation as the flight attendants make their final safety checks.
Emergency exits on either side of the cabin are clearly marked.
The plane taxis down the runway. The cabin lights dim. It's time.
Lighting will guide you to these exits. In case of an emergency, you will have to leave your luggage in the plane.
The engines roar to a deafening crescendo. The cabin trembles, and a thrilling vibration runs through you. The G-forces press you back into your seat. Then a sudden, exhilarating lightness. You feel weightless, suspended between two worlds. Did you remember to turn that light off in your room? Oh, it's too late for that. Your ears pop as the pressure changes, a physical confirmation that you're on your way. As you reach cruising altitude, you exhale out a sigh of relief. Your itinerary has already been planned and paid for. No worries. All that's left for you is to enjoy your time abroad. Before you know it, the descent begins. And the wheels touch down with a gentle thud. You finally landed. Little do you know, this is just the beginning of the journey of your life. An experience that will redefine your perspective, ignite your passions, and create memories you will cherish forever. First and foremost, what made you decide to join the HCC study abroad program?
I was specifically interested in the Bermuda one because of its focus not only on oceanography, but also on broader kind of like environmental science topics.
When I learned about the study abroad program at the beginning of this year, I was very excited and also kind of surprised that HCC, a community college, would have such a program. And I joined it because Italy, and I like history, and I wanted to go someplace new.
Jackie Palmer. She's a very, 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 very big part of why I came. She really pushed me to do it, get out of my comfort zone, even though my friends didn't want to do it.
I had actually always wanted to go to Italy. It had been like my dream country to visit.
I thought it was a great opportunity. Like, I've always dreamed of going to Paris. My mom is big into France. She always talked about how she loved when she went there, she studied. And so just hearing about it when I was younger, I was like, man, that's a place I want to go. And seeing a program that offered it while also doing pastry was like, there was no reason not to.
So what is the application process like? Is it daunting, or is it pretty straightforward and simple?
I think it's really straightforward and simple.
It was honestly pretty easy.
It was reasonable paperwork.
Log into this thing, and it was like 11 steps to do.
They have a portal.
The initial application is not much. I think you're just kind of sharing about yourself and why you want to go.
Have your passport, medical, regular insurance.
All of the things that you have to do is there. And after each task completed, it'll mark it for you. So you'll know what you already did and you'll know what you need to do.
Yeah, just some paperwork, but it was very chill.
And then you were able to meet with someone from the program and kind of, they'll give you the rundown of everything and you can ask questions.
We then had a couple of interviews along the way with Jackie in the program, which actually were helpful because they're also a great time to talk through concerns and also learn about questions I should even ask in the first place. It just takes time, but there's a lot of logistics to plan out for a big group of people.
Can you describe your trip in detail? What did a typical day-to-day studying abroad look like?
Typical day, waking up early.
So we'd usually wake up around 7 or so that we could eat breakfast. All the meals were provided and the food was really good. That was one of the highlights.
We'd get breakfast, go downstairs to meet up, and we'd get kind of an overview of what the day would be.
You've waken up, eaten breakfast, got ready, and you're out the door at 9 o'clock.
And then usually we'd take some form of public transportation to get to a destination.
And we'd be out usually hiking or snorkeling, swimming, researching.
And then we would go with our guide. He would take us to a fun event.
I loved exploring. I loved the fact that every day we went out and did something.
We went to 5 or 6 different bakeries just to try the foods, traveled around on the metro.
But yeah, we do a lot of exploring of the island. Sometimes we went into town, we took the bus, we walked. We even swam in a cave, which was really fun.
We did day trips to Capri, to Orvieto, to Pompeii.
And to be able to see the views were amazing. And all the pictures that I took that I have not yet posted.
We stopped by the Eiffel Tower, went up to the top. That was surreal. We visited the Arc de Triomphe, and then we went to a small town outside of Lyon called Issengeau, and that's where we studied the pastry school.
How has the study abroad program impacted your educational experience? What kind of knowledge did you take away traveling abroad that you couldn't have learned in the classroom?
I guess just seeing how they live. There's no way I could possibly really get that off of being in the classroom.
To see it and also know the history of it, everything got tied together. I think the studying was a very different style of studying than you would expect in a classroom, but it was also a more meaningful type of studying for me.
Going to Bermuda, it's there's so much more than just the eastern shore of the United States. Conservation is everywhere. Yeah. And I don't have to just stay where I am. I can always learn about other places.
I would say that was the perfect way for me to learn history because I'm not a big historian. And I feel like it's much more impactful because you're seeing it for yourself. You get to walk through the Roman Forum and see the Colosseum, how huge it is, instead of just sitting and reading off of a book. So it was definitely the best way that I could learn history.
I definitely learned a lot of techniques within baking. Like, for example, pâte à choux is cream puffs or eclairs. The technique we've always seen is you just add the eggs in and it'll go the right consistency to pipe it out and bake it. When we were in France, our teacher explained to us, was like, it's not just adding all the eggs in. You want to add until you get the right consistency that you're looking for. It's in-depth stuff like that that is next level in France.
So, did you make any friendships while you were abroad, and how did those connections shape your overall experience?
Yeah, I would say that the cohort I went with, we became pretty close, and I might not talk to them every day, but it's like if I see them, of course, it's like we spent a week together in Bermuda. Like you're my buddy.
I made a lot of friendships. I think it was a big group that I was a part of, and for me, I had a really, really hard time remembering names. Like they quizzed me every day on everybody's names. So
I think the whole trip, what really stood out to me was how everyone was very excited to be friends with everyone. Everyone was there to learn and to have a good experience and to enjoy themselves, and that was reflected in how we interacted with each other. By the end of the trip, we were all pretty good friends.
And I met a couple of guys who played soccer because I went up to the town and bought a soccer ball just for one day, something to do. And I played with them for a little bit and just telling me about like why they were there and what they were doing.
It was like my brothers and sisters, we were all like one big family, making plans together. We had free time, but we still made plans together. We went out together. You're not alone in a different country.
So how were you able to manage the cost of the program?
Something that's really great about HCC Study Abroad program is the scholarships that they have. So I was able to get a full scholarship.
A BIC is a scholarship program that it really helped. We also did a lot of fundraising. We did fundraising for the past 2 years, selling pretzels, cakes, cookies, but it really helped us to pay for France. It took a lot off.
The office and Jackie specifically were extremely helpful with getting scholarships.
Apply for those scholarships and tell your family. Like I just spread the word that I was going, and then my aunt, she made a GoFundMe for me. And yeah, it was like, oh, okay. Well, I didn't even ask her this, and then like it was like a surprise.
I applied for the scholarship. I got, I believe, more than half covered, and I was left with $2,000 that I had to pay. And I couldn't see myself paying that immediately, so I had requested a payment plan, and it was very doable.
What would you say to encourage students to apply for the study abroad program?
I think it would change your life. This was probably the best trip I've ever been on, ever. You just kind of have everything planned for you, so you don't really have to think. You just go and enjoy and learn. And I just think it's really great to not only learn, but also to have kind of a unique experience. Like when I tell people, oh, I got to go to Bermuda, they're like, oh my God, that's amazing. And I'm like, oh my God, it was amazing. It's just so much fun. It's just so much fun.
It's a once in a lifetime opportunity sometimes. Why not take advantage of it? Then before you get too busy, take that moment for yourself. Go and explore. Money comes, money goes. In this case, money will go, but it'll go and memories will come. So I would encourage anybody who wants to experience that to just take the step. It's easy to do it. It's easy to ask for help. It's easy to ask for guidance. So just do it. I sound like Nike, but just do it.
Just do it, honestly. I'll take that one from Nike. Just do it. There's no reason I would say not to. It was an amazing trip all around. I really did like it. The classes are fun. The trip, just the whole thing's fun. I don't really know how to explain it other than that, but
it definitely changed in how I should be thinking of things. So do it. Have fun and get out the country.
You absolutely should apply, and you absolutely should do everything you can to go on a trip. it was interesting for me, and it was enjoyable for me to realize like how much I've learned at HCC, both as like a student and as a person. This trip really just gave me an opportunity to explore a new place, learn a lot of historical facts, and build like, I don't know, some wonderful friendships and relationships with people. There really is no reason that people should not apply. Like, there's a lot of help with money. There's a lot of help with, getting your documents together. And I think in part because the school is a community college and because there's such a focus on students, there are so many people who want to help you succeed, and professors are super encouraging. I think I've come back as someone who is more understanding of others, someone who is just curious and excited, and I feel like it's such a wonderful experience to have so early in your life and in your academic and professional career.
Wow, what incredible stories from Andrew, Maribel, Nazir, Nikki, and Samuel. It's amazing how a place you might not immediately think of for study abroad, like Bermuda, can offer profound opportunities for academic growth. And then there are destinations like Italy, which completely immerse you in the rich cultural and historical tapestry of a place and time. Each journey in the HCC Study Abroad program offers unique and transformative opportunities. Now, you may be wondering, how do I even begin to make experiences like these a reality for myself? Well, that's precisely why our next guest is here. The kind of experiences you just heard about are exactly what Dr. Limbuso Koza, Director of International Education and one of the driving forces behind HCC's Study Abroad program, is passionate about. She's here to walk us through all the ins and outs of the program, revealing just how accessible and achievable these incredible global adventures are. We are absolutely thrilled and honored to welcome Dr. Koza to the podcast.
Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to shed some light on these incredible opportunities.
Oh, thank you for that brilliant welcome, Ryan. I'm happy to be here and excited to talk more about what we do in international education.
Fantastic. Now, looking beyond the brochure, we just heard some amazing student experiences from students that went to Bermuda and Italy. But from your perspective as the Director of International Education, what is the real magic of studying abroad, and what are some of the intangible benefits that students will gain that they might not realize until they're there?
Thank you for that question, Ryan. We are excited to work with our students anytime they want to aspire to travel abroad. So one of the great benefits of being abroad, as you can imagine, you're not in the classroom. You're actually experiencing what it is that your teacher's been telling you about all this time in the classroom. So you get a lot of benefits, one of them being communication, because when you're in a different part of the world and you don't speak the local language, you need to know how to maneuver. So communication is a big thing. You're traveling with your classmates, so team building. You're gaining a lot of global skills that includes intercultural awareness because, for example, if you like McDonald's and you're in a place like Japan, some places don't use the regular flour we use. They could use rice flour, and you could have soy as part of your topping. So there are a lot of things that you need to open your mind to for being in a different environment, the climate, the weather. So that leads itself to being flexible, adjusting. I said again, teamwork, communication skills. If you're interested in learning a new language or practicing a new language, that's an ideal place to be. It enables you to have global-ready skills because, as we know, the globe is literally in your pocket now. So you need to know how to work with others from a different angle and just understand yourself in that respect. The list goes on, but really at the end of the day, is just opening your eyes to see the world from a different perspective, gaining those skills to help you with your future in terms of your career.
So many exciting destinations. How do you decide which programs to offer, And what kind of unique experiences can students expect from the different locations and types of programs available?
Okay, that's a great question. I'm sure a lot of people are curious about that. So if you come over to CL 113, which is below the library, we have a display case, and in that case you will see our destinations. So how we usually offer these destinations is largely dependent on the faculty member who's interested in taking students abroad linked to their course. So last year we had faculty visit Kenya, Taiwan, and then Dr. Bianchi had been to Italy before, so he was offering his program. Nonetheless, faculty do a site visit the year prior, and then they go to that destination the following year. So that's how we offer those programs as they come through. Yeah.
That's cool. So for students worried about staying on track with their coursework while abroad, how does HCC ensure that the lessons learned abroad will count towards their degree?
So because the faculty lab program is associated with a course that the student would ordinarily take, it works out. It's like a win-win. However, we do find that there are some students who have maxed out all the courses they need. So we work with the director of advising and registrar, all those important offices to ensure that whatever it is that the student is needing can be addressed. So when a student signs up for a faculty led program, they also need to sign up for a study abroad course. It's 1 credit. Everything is done online, and that course essentially is there's a pre and post survey, and then there are like 5 journal prompts to talk about their experience. So it's like, what do you expect when you get there? What did you do when you were there? And then how was it when you were there? So today I'll start grading all of those responses, and I look forward to them because it's a unique experience. It's not like your everyday. I mean, all courses are important. Just that this one in particular, the experience is external and it's on the ground. We expect a student to return having been transformed in a way because, like, for some students, they've never stepped into a plane before, let alone fly over 6 hours to another part of the world. So that too adds to all that excitement because we're on the ground preparing them, helping them along the way, and then sending them off with their faculty. So it's definitely something to look forward to when you read the experiences.
For sure. So for students starting to consider the study abroad, what's the typical application process and timeline like? And what are the key steps they need to take to get started?
We promote the programs through our, as I said, we have a bulletin board outside our office and on the campus monitors. And at the fairs, we have the Dragon Connection Fair, there's the Summer Bash, and all those wonderful activities that happen in August for new and returning students. That's where we promote the programs. And then in September, we launch the programs. Okay. So we have the students who are interested come by, and the faculty who are leading those programs meet with the students on a one-on-one. So whatever questions they have, so they sign up in September. And then once they have committed with a deposit, then we start working with them one-on-one. So our program coordinator, Jackie Palmer, does the advising. So we follow through in terms of all those details that are needed for you to start registering to travel abroad. We have an online platform where students provide all this information. So there's like 12 items they need to check and or fill out. Okay. And from then on, then we start working with our partners to do the hotels, the pair, all that good stuff.
Logistics.
Yeah, so it's almost about 9-10 months in advance.
Wow.
Yeah, so we do a lot of the groundwork in the back, but as I said, our great coordinator does the one-on-one advising. If students have any questions and things of that nature, then we're there for them. And then in early spring, we do pre-departure orientation, where we sit down with the students. We also have our director for mental health, Miss Natalie Williams. She meets with the students as well because we all know mental health is very important. As I mentioned earlier, some students have never flown before, so there's that sense of anxiety. Some students have never stayed with people you could say they don't know because the course happens in the summertime, so students really are not connected until that time. Right. And then As I said, being in a different place, different diet, all these experiences can cause anxiety for a lot of people. So we have Ms. Williams who works with our students there. So it's a lot of partnership with other units across campus, which has been wonderful for us because it helps us support our students to what they need. So the process is about, for us, it's like a year in advance pretty much. Okay. So by the end of July, we'll start planning for our summer 2026 programs.
Makes sense. Got to be ahead of the curve.
Indeed.
And I really dig that you personalize and tailor the experience to each student. I think that's rewarding because sometimes you could feel like you get lost in the group.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And shout out to Miss Natalie Williams.
Yeah, she's wonderful with our students, so that we appreciate that partnership, and we're looking to see other ways that we can work with our students when they're abroad, because I know there's some things that from a distance cannot be done.
Yeah.
So her providing these tools for our students to utilize, and faculty while they are out there, helps a lot. I have an emergency phone, so whenever there's something that comes up, I can 24/7 check in on that. But our platform where the students register does have what we call Alert Traveler. So in case a student or faculty has an emergency, they can click on that and then we can reach out to them. However, we do go through also, the Department of State has a smart traveler enrollment program where you put in all your information about where you're going. Yeah, so we have all those supports there.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
So are there any specific GPA requirements, credit minimums, or other prerequisites that students need to meet to qualify for the program?
We do not look at your GPA. We do not take students who are under the age of 18. So it's pretty much, you register for this course and you meet all the requirements. The faculty-led course, and knowing that you have to take that SABR 200 one credit course, that's what we require.
Okay.
And of course, the blue book, you need your passport.
Right. So how early should students start planning to ensure that they meet the criteria?
As I shared earlier, we do start our promotions in August once the students return at the different events that Student Life holds through the campus monitors and our Instagram. And then the faculty that we partner with are also starting to share this information in their classes. So fall semester, early, start signing up.
Got that. Fall semester, be on top of it.
Yes.
So I was looking into the program, and I also understand that there are some virtual study abroad opportunities. Can you shed light on how these work?
Okay. So as part of the services we provide to the campus and community, we have collaborative online international learning. So this is a virtual exchange program whereby students are learning with peers from another part of the world in terms of whatever course there is that's being offered. So last semester, we have Sociology 101, and the partner was in Venezuela. So Professor Greg Fleischer is the one who teaches that course, and the students meet to do a project for about 4 weeks.
Cool.
So the course in itself is 15 weeks. They get together for that project development for that 4 weeks. So in the past, we've had partners in Hong Kong. Fall semester, we had a new partner, Ecuador. We actually have an agreement with the University of Cuenca in Ecuador. Okay. So Professor Mila Young had her class meet with students in Ecuador. So this is one way to meet with students abroad within the classroom. And the beauty of this course offering is that you don't need to pay anything additional. Wow. You just register for that specific course section. You meet your peers from around the world. And my hope is always that once a student has that experience, they'll want to actually go to the country that they've established connection with. So we do have that virtual exchange part of it, and the faculty are very excited about doing these opportunities for students, because how often do you make friends around the world in a classroom setting? So if you never go abroad, at least you can say, hey, I met with so-and-so and we did these types of activities together. And just for 1 month, making those connections. For some, it's improving their language. For some, it's like, hey, how do you do this kind of thing? And so a bridge is a bridge is a bridge. At the end of the day, it's like, if you can pick up the phone and talk to somebody who's 12 hours away, why not?
Yeah. Well, I love that kind of collaboration. So that's really special, even from a virtual standpoint.
Yeah, and it's free.
Can't beat free.
Indeed.
But on the other hand, let's be honest, affordability can be a big concern for students with study abroad.
Yes.
Can you break down the typical costs associated with the program? And more importantly, what kind of financial aid, scholarship, and grant opportunities are available through HCC and other sources to make it more accessible for students?
That's a very important and great question, Ryan. So we have scholarships available for our students. They don't cover 100%. They could. However, the opportunity is there. We encourage our students to apply for the scholarship. So it's about 3 or 4 questions, which can be responded in half a page. We review the scholarships in December so that they can be awarded come January. So the scholarship opportunities are there. Just to put in a little plug, this fall we'll be doing a passport drive, so to speak. We got a grant, which enables 25 first-year eligible students to apply. You need that blue book to cross the border.
Exactly. And once you have it, you're in, can go anywhere
Yes.
for those 10 years.
Yeah. There are many other opportunities that students can go about and look for, but we do provide the information for our students to be able to go out and see what they can do in terms of getting more funds. I know people are very creative and, they'll GoFundMes and Christmas lists and
Fundraising, however they...
Yeah, but definitely HCC does support students with scholarship opportunities, and those students that are in the learning cohorts like Silas Craft, undergraduate research and so on, there are some funds there that support the students as well. So we do our best to support them because we understand it's not that easy to just drop $5,000. And in the grand scheme of things, the cost for our programs is much less than you would probably do on your own independently.
So it's great to hear that there's so many options to help meet students where they dream.
Definitely.
As you know, navigating passports and visas can be a headache, and I know you just touched on this, but I understand you can help with this crucial step as well. What's the process for securing these documents through HCC like, and what advice can you offer students to avoid hiccups when applying for visas and passports?
It's important to start early. As you asked earlier, Ryan, when should students start? The sooner you're just interested in going abroad, the sooner you start applying for a passport. Can take a long time. Once you hear where we're going and you want to go apply for the passport, we do have forms. We're in contact with the local post office because you can go to the local post office to apply for a passport. I understand the library, not our library, but the Howard County Library, you can go through there. In terms of visas, for U.S. citizens, it's not much. Thus far, I know it's like less than $10.
Oh, okay.
$10, $15, depending on destination. So we do guide them along. We don't prepare visas or anything like that. If it's unmasked, then we work with a class to apply for that visa.
Gotcha.
So we make sure that happens in advance.
Yeah, well in advance. If you're interested, apply yesterday, right? Now, beyond the paperwork, what are some of the practical tips you can offer students as they prepare to travel to a new country?
Well, it's good to know about the country you're going to visit or the country you're going to experience. So reading up on that, asking questions, and you never know, there may be an international student who's from that country here because we have about 103 international students represented here. Knowing somebody who's been, even a faculty member, because we do have international faculty, it's a good way to start preparing. I mean, you can watch all the YouTube videos you want, but once you hit the ground, it's not necessarily always the same because YouTube is great. We're telling you the top 10 things you can do, but I tried doing that when I was in Japan. I told you earlier I was in Japan. I visited Nara Park. I went to Osaka Castle and then Dotonbori Street. It's like a happening place. Everything that can happen happens in that place. I was thoroughly exhausted. So if I were to do that with my students, I don't think they'd like me at the end of the day. So one of the key things is that we space out our itinerary in terms of the experiences. Knowing where you're going, doing the reading, the researching, that helps. In the process of pre-departure orientation, we have our students also use a Well-Kind Academy program. There's a number of modules that you go through. So you learn about a passport, how to apply, changing money, how to handle yourself in local situations, those types of things. So at the end of it, the student can get a little certificate, but it's exciting because it's a gamified thing. It's case-based scenarios. And then talking obviously with our office staff and getting those experiences and, getting into that mindset of I'm going to be in this place. This is the currency I need. This is the type of food I'll be consuming. This is how I need to prepare myself. We always talk about packing. If you're going to be in one place for 10 days, you don't need like 10 suitcases. Right. So it's just getting into that mindset of being somewhere else and absorbing everything. And as our program coordinator, like Jackie likes to say, be present, be in the moment, be off the phone. Yes, we can take pictures. However, it's like you can miss something by being on the phone. It's like being in the train and missing your stop. Those types of things, and just being aware of yourself in another place. I talked about the benefits of being abroad, team building, critical thinking, problem solving, all those types of things. You're on your own out there, so to speak. So preparing yourself that way.
Makes sense. I know we touched on this earlier as well, but student safety is also paramount.
Yes.
What measures specifically does HCC take to ensure student well-being while abroad? And what resources are available in case of an emergency?
Okay. So as I shared earlier, we definitely like the fact that we have partnership with Ms. Williams for mental health. She meets with the students twice before they leave and provides all the necessary resources. So it's like a one-on-one situation. We're not part of that. However, we just ensure that the students are aware that they have that option, and she shares with them whatever tools they need when they're abroad, if they have any challenges. We're also aware of any health medical needs that the students have, because as I said, I have the emergency phone and the big binder with everybody's information. So the faculty are also aware of that. And as I said, we also have one-on-one opportunities. Students can meet with Jackie or myself, if need be, to assist them in that way. When it comes to risk management, I shared earlier that we do have a platform that students can reach out if they need to, because we do build in free time for students to continue exploring or what have you. And if anything comes up, they're able to reach us that way. We ensure that they register in that step that the Department of State has. On the logistics side, we do have an emergency tree to reach out. So if something comes up, I can inform my supervisor, can in turn inform senior leadership. So we have all these measures in place in terms of ensuring that, as far as we can, make sure that the students are safe. And the partners we work with to provide services, they have individuals on the ground as well. So we're in contact in that way.
And, even if the students aren't thinking about it, I'm sure their parents are.
Oh, definitely. The parents are definitely aware. And I think it's a comfort to them to know that my child has signed up with this program and HCC is doing this to support them to be safe.
Yeah, for sure. I imagine that making new connections is a huge part of the experience. How does the program help facilitate social connections, both with fellow HCC students as well as locals in the host country?
That's a great question. At this time, considering that we only have those short-term faculty-led programs, the students don't really interact much with their peers when they go abroad unless they are in a university setting. So Taiwan and Kenya were one of the programs we were promoting for this summer. However, due to the numbers, the programs didn't make. So for both programs, students would have had the opportunity to interact with their peers at those relative institutions. I am sure that they do make those connections. I know that last year, the students that went to Greece did it was like impromptu music session with some locals.
That's awesome.
So they played, I think two of our students, one was playing guitar, one was singing. So at that level, there were those connections. And I'm sure some students have done that, but on a bigger scale, we haven't done that thus far. So I look forward to having that opportunity where students can have those long-term study abroad experiences. So like they can travel for a semester or do a short program in the summer,
Really get
something like that,
immersed.
and really get immersed. Yes, yeah. But I think the COIL, the virtual exchange, enables those opportunities. But I'm sure one of these good years we'll be doing something like that. Definitely.
So once HCC students return, how do they typically integrate their global experiences back into their academic and career paths?
So I mentioned earlier that our students do take SABR 200, which is study abroad course, and the pre and the post surveys, we work with our Learning Outcomes Assessment Office. So they do a series of questions, like a survey monkey, sharing about their experiences, what they learned, and all this. So that information they submit and office assessment. And based on that, then I can get to see what the students were experiencing, how do they enjoy things. And then on the course side, the faculty will have assignments for them to talk about, we saw the Colosseum, and it's not what I expected. It's like a bunch of rocks, or whatever the case is. And then, they get us assessed in that way. In terms of sharing out, I look forward to a time when we can actually have students present, with your fabulous podcast. I think this is one way we're getting the information out there. And considering we are on a short time span because it's a community college, a lot of the times the students take these courses just as they're graduating, or they come back and they are done. And we don't get to have that connection. So a lot of the information right now is anecdotal. But the feedback has been great overall in terms of their experiences. I look forward to hearing more about how it works for them in the workplace.
Yeah.
Like as a follow-up, and that's something I'm working with the Office of Assessment to see how we can get the student to provide that feedback. But
Awesome.
I look forward to the feedback down the line, as just keeping in touch with our students. And I know they move around a lot and all that. It's just like, so how is this helping in your career, even in their personal lives? Because a lot of them are like, wow, we've had students travel twice, with Dr. Bianchi. They did Italy the previous year, and they traveled with him to Greece. He's a great champion for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, with this opportunity, I'd want to stay at community college forever, right?
We're happy to have you.
All right. And finally, Dr. Koza, 2 questions.
Yes.
What personally inspires you about the study abroad program? And what is your biggest hope for HCC students who choose to embark on this journey?
Okay. What personally excites me is the transformation when the student returns, even while they are there, because we encourage them to post on our social media site. And I'm seeing pictures of the Italian experience. And as I shared earlier, I was talking to Chef Milburn. They're getting ready for their France program. I said, lots of pictures, a lot of videos. So I'm excited. It's, it's like living through their eyes to see how they're excited about those experiences. We'd love to be in their suitcases, but we know there's excess luggage issues. But that's what I like the most about this experience and helping students to, as we said, dream. My biggest hope is that they'll keep wanting to travel abroad always and to learn more. As you said earlier, dissolve the borders, have that common goal of peace, learning more and just having the thirst for knowledge always as what are my peers doing abroad? How can I make life different here? And how can I just help everybody do what they do? I mean, having that word of mouth and having others go abroad means some international students have shared. My friend told me I should do this, so I'm doing it now. So that's a great thing.
I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to meet me today, and it's been an honor to have you on the show. Thanks for coming through.
Thank you, Ryan. Call me back anytime.
You know I will.
What an incredible journey we've taken today. From imagining boarding that flight to hearing firsthand accounts of transformative experiences in Bermuda, Italy, and beyond, we've only just scratched the surface of what's possible with HCC's Study Abroad program. Once again, I want to extend a huge thanks to all the students who joined me on the podcast, as well as the Director of International Education, Dr. Limbuso Koza, for shedding so much light on just how accessible and achievable these global adventures are. They have definitely showed us how to turn those what-ifs about studying abroad into what-nows. If today's episode has sparked that itch for something more, if you're dreaming of a classroom in France, a history lesson among ancient ruins, or immersing yourself in a vibrant new culture, then HCC's Study Abroad program just might be your next big adventure. For more information about how to turn these dreams into reality, be sure to visit the International Education Office on campus or check out the Study Abroad section of the HCC website. All the details, upcoming program dates, and the application information are waiting for you there. Thank you as always for tuning in to Dragon Talk. We hope you feel inspired to expand your horizons and explore the world. Until next time, Dragon Country, this is Ryan Record, signing out. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed what you just heard, we have a whole universe of podcasts waiting for you. Simply search Dragon Podcasts wherever you get your podcasts. You can also explore our full lineup and discover new shows at podbean.com/dragonpodcasts. That's podbean.com/dragonpodcasts.